Hello everyone and welcome to week 11 of Massachusetts Legal Research. So this week we're going to be covering the law of evidence and rules of court, including the rules of professional conduct in Massachusetts. So what's in store for you this week? Well, like most weeks, we have some objectives for you to take a quick look at. Then there are some assigned readings this week. There's a chapter of the MCLE Handbook of Legal Research, which you've used before in different weeks. And as you know, that's available on a couple of different platforms, including the MCLE Online Pass. And even though it's a whole chapter, it's pretty short. It's just 17 pages. And then there are a couple of short readings that are freely available out at the mass.gov site about the Guide to Evidence and also the Massachusetts Rules of Professional Conduct, the scope note for those. After you've done the assigned reading, the next thing will be to watch 4 videos. So the first video is an overview of court rules and the other topics. It's a little bit on the long side at just over 15 minutes, but you could easily break it into 3 chunks because the first about 6 minutes and 40 seconds covers court rules. Then until about 10 minutes, that next chunk covers the rules of professional responsibility in Massachusetts, and the very last part of it, the last 5 or so minutes, covers evidence. So if it's easier for you, definitely chunk that up. The next 2 videos have to do with tips on using these resources on Westlaw and Lexis, and the final video is just a few other subscription resources and some free sources that I'm suggesting to you. One note on the last video, that video was made last year, so some of the pages, the currency is going to look a little bit different, but the whole substance is the same. So the substance of the video and how you would use these resources is the same. There's a short quiz this week. It won't take you too long, I don't think. But there is some of the questions involve a little bit of research, so put aside some time for the quiz this week. We have released your grades for the short research project, so take a look at those. And there are a few comments on your individual assignments, but most of the review comments we've put together into a slideshow. So take some time this week to look at the slideshow and also the associated video, which talks about the most common problems we saw on the very first short research project. And then you can use these comments that we're going over to help you on the final research project, which is worth a much bigger part of your grade. As always, we have your student weekly reflection, so you can communicate with us about how your week went. And finally, there's an optional CALI lesson. So this is about rules governing the practice of law, so for professional responsibility rules, but it's not specific to Massachusetts, so that's why we made it optional. Okay, if you have any question about any of these materials, feel free to post it to the general Q&A board or send myself or Rick an email.